Hey there! Today we're going to be talking about this, the Venvstas Magna. It was lent to me by Joost Appelboom and I thought it would be fun to review it. Now, I've reviewed a Venvstas pen years ago. This is really years ago. At that point they were in a very early stage and still it was through Kickstarter, etc. But now they're commercially offered. Appelboom is one of the retailers who offers these pens. The thing about this company is that it's a very high level of design, and that's something you like or you don't like. Even the original ones that I reviewed kind of had this shape, so it's definitely different, and some people really like that and some people don't, but that's a matter of taste. I'm here to review this pen. I'll review this pen, I'll show you the parts of the pen, I'll do a writing sample, I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. Let's get started. Okay, let's have a look at this Venvstas pen. This is the Magna. There are other models in the lineup that may be cartridge converter filled. This one has a type of piston filling mechanism. Okay, we have the box, cardboard outer sleeve, then we have the actual box, lid comes off, and then in here is the holder for the pen. It says write your history, design your future, venvstas.com. Let's see what the pen is all about. So that was the box hitting the floor. Here we have the pen. I'll zoom in for you. It's a nice material, feels like has a little bit of texture. Here we have this pen right next to a Pilot Metropolitan. About the same girth, I would say, but obviously a bit longer. Okay, an interesting pen with an interesting filling mechanism. These retail for €205.79 at Appelboom. Don't forget you can get a 10% discount if you click the banner on my website. Fine, medium or broad nibs in steel, or 14 karat fine, medium or broad nibs for €123.97 upgrade. That's without VAT. Parts of the pen. So we have here the Venvstas logo on the finial, which I like, nice, simple, refined, I love it. We have the cap. This would be barrel, and I guess this is barrel too, but it's a three-piece construction. So let's start at the back end. This is just open, so this end of the barrel is just open, and this is actually just a tube that you slide off. Okay, now you can put it in two ways. You can put it on this way, which I don't think is the way this was intended to go on, or you can put it on that way, and then you get this little groove at the bottom, which you also have here, which you can use to help you uncap the pen. I think that's how it's supposed to go. But if you say, I don't really like that, I just want to do it this way and I don't have any groove, that is a possibility, and then the end of the cap looks like this. Okay, I'm not sure who was designed for you to do that, but I'm just saying that's something you could do. Here we have the filling system, which is something I don't want to really operate this, but this comes out and it kind of functions as a piston filler. So nice, holds a nice amount of ink. Okay, here we have this little rivet, which I'm assuming holds something in place, and then we have the cap. The cap, as I said, slides off. So the whole thing really slides apart, right? We have the pen with the filling mechanism here, we have the barrel, end of the barrel that goes on there, and then we have this end. Now, the nib end is quite interesting. Here, by the way, on the cap it says made in Italy, and then it seems to say A0077. That could be a lambda as well, I can't truly tell. And we have a groove here, which meets up with a notch there, so that the cap is always in exactly the same position and doesn't really rotate a lot. If it does rotate, then it comes off, you see? Okay, we have the steel nib, which actually looks the way titanium nibs look. So I wondered if it was a titanium nib, but it's listed on the website as steel, so that's what I'm going with. I would call this a semi-hooded nib. It looks like a number 6. There is this metal part. I'll try to zoom in a bit. There's this metal part that kind of hoods it a little bit, and on the side that creates this fairly pleasant layered look, which I think is quite nice. I also really like this flat feed. I think it matches the design of the pen very nicely. That's what I have. You see some ink staining there. This is something I'll come back to in likes and dislikes. Okay, but for now, here you have the pen, and the interesting thing about the barrel being open like that, let me zoom out a bit, is that you can post it, right? Because that cap, remember, it's a sliding mechanism that will slide back on there too, and then you have this. And if I zoom out even more, you can see the whole thing then is quite long, but you don't have to. You can also use this unposted. I think it's a nice design, and because this is a lot of hollow tubes, none of it is very heavy. As a result, it doesn't become top heavy, and it's comfortable to use. Now, what we should really see is how the pen writes. So here we have the Venvstas Magna. I was unable to tell which nib this is because I can't see the marking. It might be underneath that hood, and I couldn't see anything on the box, but I'm going to go with this being a fine or a medium. The ink is Ackermann Delft's, sorry, Blau. Let's write with it. There is certainly a bit of feedback, no scratchiness. It's not unpleasant, I just notice feedback as I write. So if you like the buttery smooth nibs, maybe get this as broad as you can, or maybe have it sent to a nibmeister to smooth it, or smooth it yourself. Feed keeps up well with the writing, so that's quite nice. It's not a gusher of ink, as you can see. The nib is a true round nib, no real line variation, but it's not an italic. This is what it's supposed to be like. Line variation, and based on how easily this nib spreads open, I really got that titanium feel from it. But again, the website lists it as steel, so that's what I'm going with. If someone can clarify that, that would be great. As you can see, huge amount of line variation, and I'm really not pushing it hard or feel that I'm damaging anything. So if you like that, it's an expressive nib, which I think is really cool. It's something I really like about this pen. Reverse writing becomes scratchy, so I wouldn't recommend that. It's also a relatively fine nib to begin with, so I don't think it's really necessary. Let's have a look at likes and dislikes. Things I like, things I don't like. I think it's not a cheap pen. 205 euros, that's without VAT, and that's for a steel medium, sorry, fine, medium or broad nib. Then there are gold nib upgrades, 14K, fine, medium, broad, for an additional 123 euros 97 cents without VAT. So in other words, it's not cheap. But what you are purchasing is so much more than a pen. It's a design object, and it has been pointed out to me in the past that these pens truly are design objects more so than pens. The pen has interesting design features that I think are very cool. For example, the slip and slide mechanism of the cap I think is quite nice. It's also interesting that you have this little groove, which I don't remember from the first incarnations, but you know, you could put a nail behind that. I don't think it's really necessary because it slides off quite smoothly. They only cap in a single way, so if you had this feeling of maybe I could cap it like this, yeah, sure. But there is a cutout on that end in the cap here, and there is sort of like a notch inside the section. Don't know how well I can show you, but they do need to line up, otherwise the pen doesn't cap. Even then, there is some option for twisting and things getting misaligned. The barrel slips off the same way. What I really like is the improvement that I see in these pens. The first model had some design elements that were a little bit on the crude side. For example, the barrel was again a slide mechanism like this. The barrel and cap were held in place by metal prongs, which were very sharp, and I actually cut myself on those. But in this model, the newer model, the upgraded model, those are no longer present. You can't see them, they're not there. It's very simple. I like that. I like certain other things as well. the barrel is completely hollow. So you just, like, it just slides on a certain way, and that's the end of it. You can do what you will with it. I would probably do it this way, so you have a groove there and you have a groove there. But you know, theoretically, you could experiment. You could do things in a different way. Okay, so having said that, I like that the development is there. And that, I think, is very cool. It's very nice when a company continues to improve itself, continues to improve its products. And I do see that in Venvstas, which I think is very, very nice. The finial, I think, is cool. It's simple, but it's refined. And for me, the pen wrote very well. So these are all things that I like. I have read some reports from people online who reported leakage, that ink came out of places it should not be coming out of. I haven't truly experienced that, but I will say one of the issues with this particular design, because the nib is not quite hooded, but I'm sure you see what I mean, it has this metal part. There is ink on there, ink stains. When you put this in a bottle of ink, you have to submerge up to a certain level to be able to draw up ink with this piston, and to do so you'll get ink all over the material, and that might stain the pen, as has happened here. I have not experienced leakage, but some people online have. So if that is a concern you have, I just wanted to put that out there, as that is something that has been reported. I do try to check what other people say online, right? Bear in mind that has been a thing for some. Again, not for me, right? But just saying. That's it. I hope this was informative. I appreciate Joost for lending me the pen. That's all there's to it. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye!